August 25th, Wednesday, August 25th. This meeting is called to order. Okay. In compliance with Public Law 20. Okay. In compliance with Public Law 24-109, Guam Ancestral Lands Commission published the public meeting announcement for Wednesday, August 25th, 2021, in the Guam Daily Post on Wednesday, August 18, 2021, and Monday, August 23, 2021. Okay, Director, roll call.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Ecuador.
Present.
Vice Chair LaGuardia.
Yeah.
Secretary Treasurer Cruz.
Here.
Commissioner Camacho. I don't see Commissioner Camacho online yet, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Olino.
Here.
Commissioner Rios.
Here.
And Commissioner Wesley. Mr. Chair, Commissioner Wesley informed us that she's currently in the hospital this time, recovering from surgery. She'll be excused absent. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Just Masi, Director, and we wish her the very best and a speedy recovery for Commissioner Wesley. So, okay, Director, let's move to the approval of minutes.
Thank you, Miss. You're missing the compliance law.
I did announce the justification and the compliance.
Okay. Oh,
I
what's
did.
wrong? Okay.
Okay, so we're on the minutes.
You're all right. You're excused because I forgot even my password for the
Wasn't paying much attention, sorry.
cat. You're looking for it from me, right, Cat? Yeah, I forgot what it was. I'm on my other mail, man. Thanks. Mr. Chair,
Vice Chair. Ron?
I have just Mossy. I have a question. Just to refresh my memory, weren't we? When is the meeting where we're supposed to discuss our director's evaluation?
This coming Friday. 2 days
This
from
coming
now.
Friday.
That after this meeting?
Yes,
Yeah, no, on Friday.
Friday.
Oh, okay. Oh,
A special meeting Friday. I'll send you a
Special meeting
reminder.
Friday.
Yeah, I'll send everyone a reminder. Or Kathy will do that also. We didn't want to confuse everyone because last time we had issues with two different meetings being broadcast out, and some commissions having difficulty tuning into the correct one. So we decided.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks for reminding me because I was going to hit the ocean on Friday.
I think it'll be a quick meeting on.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
A very quick meeting. So maybe you don't want to cancel that fishing trip. Maybe.
No. I'll be. Yeah. I'll be there. Okay. Stop.
Okay, we're still in the minutes.
Mr. Chair, looks pretty good to me.
Okay.
That's a great job that they did. It looks a great job. Looks really thorough.
Okay,
And for me as we move on. It's for anyone who would be questioning our job, as members. That's for them. But other than that, we move on. So I would like to motion to approve with subject to corrections. If there are any corrections necessary, please do so. Identify it. But I would like to move.
okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve the minutes.
I
Do I hear
second
a
that.
Okay,
I
we have a
second
second.
that.
We have a second from Commissioner Cruz. All in favor? Aye.
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 And aye. Looks like it's unanimous. Any nays? No nays. The minutes passes.
Kathy,
Okay,
thank
so,
you for it yesterday. I had a chance to read it. Thank you.
Okay, so back on the agenda. Now we're for item number 4, Executive Director's Report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Request for professional services. I also added in another section that I'll give verbally, but the one written that I've given you was, as of this date, I have submitted requests for professional services to the Guam Economic Development Authority, Merrill Lynch, and Coast 360. Gita informed me that they intend to set up a meeting with the Board of Commissioners. They said sometime, maybe the first week of September, as soon as their Chief Executive Officer, Melanie Manjola, returns from maternity leave. And basically, they wanted to discuss the specifics of the Commission's request for professional services to determine the best way to proceed and establish Gita's fee structure. I listed down 4 items that they'd like to know. What are the Commission's goals and objectives? What are the Commission's expectations? What is the Commission's wish list as far as scope of work goes? And what assets does the Commission wish to leverage, such as the land bank funds, properties, or anything else? Mr. Chairman, I see Commissioner Camacho is now connecting.
Okay.
I also spoke with Mr. David Beaver. He's the Senior Vice President and Wealth Management Advisor at Merrill Lynch Wealth Management. We had a short discussion on the type of professional services they provide. And I have a meeting set up with Mr. Beaver to further discuss our request for professional services on Monday, August 30th. That's this coming Monday.
Very good. Very good.
As soon as I get that, I'll get back to you. I also met with Gwen Camacho of Coast 360. She's a retail associate. And we discussed what type of investment services that are offered by Coast 360. Ms. Camacho informed me that Coast 360 does provide these services that we're looking for. And she will forward my request to the proper department and they will contact me. As of today, I have not received any contact from them. And I also attached with this the letter that I sent out to Gita. And of course, their response was, we're going to set up a meeting. What I want to add also to my report is on legal services. And this is because I've become concerned about what I also told is going to be in the upcoming budget bill or in the actual budget bill being discussed currently at the legislature. And it's very similar to what is listed in Public Law number 3599, Section 8. And this is part of the current Budget Act that provides the Office of the Attorney General shall represent the Chamorro Land Trust without charge in non-litigation and land registration matters. This section is, and the section I'm aware of that's going to be in the bill or is now written into the bill, is similar. So it's my concern that should this become law, because it already is in law in the current Budget Act, should it become law, I can't predict what the CLTC would do, and I'm not sure anybody else can, but should they decide to take advantage of it, it will have a direct effect on the Ancestral Lands Commission because Department of Land Management, the Chamorro Land Trust Commission, and the Guam Ancestral Land Commission has an MOU with the Office of the Attorney General that obligates the agencies, all three agencies, to share in the cost related to the full-time legal services provided by the AG's office. And I want you to be aware that if one or two of the agencies wishes to withdraw from the MOU, the remaining agencies or agency will have to assume the responsibility of funding the full cost that is of the assigned Attorney General. The annual cost as of right now is approximately $129,000. This amounts to about $43,000 to $44,000 annually for our commission. Termination or withdrawal of any of the agencies requires giving 60 days notice to all the parties involved. So what I'm doing is I'm requesting the commission's permission to begin discussions with the Office of the Attorney General on the possibility of our decision for withdrawing from the current MOU and entering into an MOU with the Office of the Attorney General for exclusive representation, not one that has tied us in, that was created back in the Cowboy administration when all three agencies were under Department of Land Management. And now I'm not advocating for the withdrawal from the MOU at this time. I simply want to be given permission to discuss our options with the Office of the Attorney General and to identify the costs related to full-time legal services. I want to be prepared just in case CLTC, they may not take advantage this year, but in my understanding, it's going to be in the budget, it's in the budget bill for FY22. And should their commission ever want to decide to take advantage of it, I want us to be prepared so that we don't have to go and absorb the entire cost. I see Attorney Tuff has his hand up. I'd like to give him time to respond to this.
Thank you, Director. I did speak with Joey over at Chamorro Land Trust Commission and informed him what the consequences of that bill would be to Chamorro Land Trust if the services of the AG became more of a line sort of agency type situation rather than an exclusive rights sort of situation as far as my work goes. He indicated that regardless of what the budget bill says, that they still intend to uphold their 1/3 share in the MOU with the AG's office, simply because they don't want to lose that exclusivity of legal services. And that seemed to be the consensus of the board in the informal talks that I've had with them as well.
Okay,
So
that
it
seems
may
to
not,
satisfy my concern then.
yeah, so I don't think there'll be any additional cost to either Ancestral Lands or DLM.
Okay, so if the CLTC sticks to that, then we have no reason for concern. I was just concerned that it's being re-entered into the budget again for the upcoming fiscal year. And of course, anything that affects our bottom line, we've been operating on a shoestring budget all year, and it's been extremely challenging at this time and extremely difficult for us. So I just didn't want to add another $24,000 to our bottom line. So that is extremely, it's had extreme concern for me. So I feel secure with Attorney Tuff's his recommendation, his discussion into the matter. So I think that takes care of all my concerns in one tweet. Thank you, Attorney Tuff. So now that concludes, Commissioners, my report.
Thank you, Director. Do we have any questions for the Director regarding his report? No questions? Director, I'd like to commend you for your report and some of the options you've given us for these type of services. It's greatly appreciated.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's move. Vice Chair Ron?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry the delay.
Okay.
Mr. Director's report was sometimes broken up. I'm not sure if there's internet problems, but I just would like to backtrack on the the Merrill Lynch and the Ms. Gwen Camacho from Coast. And this is with regards to the proposals that we are looking at, right? The
Yeah.
Pure Stone and the Gita, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, so
and further proposals and other future
Right.
proposals.
now, but will we be getting any feedback from them for, will that affect the time constraints with regards to that one particular proposal that we are facing? Is there, Mr. Chair, is there any um, deadline that has been set for that? Because I know that they do have, they work based on a deadline for jumping in on the on that deal.
Can we get a director? What's your? I know that they sent an email regarding something, but is there a? I know that there's some timelines, but we still need the service to be done. I mean, we need to have some input. But what's your take on?
We don't have the we've never, and I personally never been involved in the banking business. And what we're seeking to do with Pure Stone in Pure Stone's case is to effect a loan to that company. It's not buying into shares or buying into ownership of the company, but an outright loan. And we haven't set up or have nothing set up here to guide us as to how to do loans. And that's how come I've approached Merrill Lynch and Coast 360 and Gita, because they're the ones that have the expertise. And even they, when they do that, they're very, very careful on how these things are handled. So as far as our office is concerned, we've done things in the area of leasing properties out, and we've gone to Gita for them to provide us assistance, and we pay for the assistance in handing out RFPs and also determinations of need and so on. Because our staff is rather small. We do handle quite a bit, but we don't have the staff here that can handle actual investments or loans on hand. So we are seeking the assistance from outside. In short, what we're going to do, like what we did with Gita with property management, we're outsourcing. That's essentially what we're doing. Trying to outsource those managerial services, because we don't have the staff, we don't have access to funding to increase our staff to hire people that we need to provide those services with. Right now in the government of Guam, I think there's only Guam Housing Corporation that does that, and Gita. Otherwise, we have to seek services from outside. So I've gone out to Code 360 and Merrill Lynch, and they say they do provide those services, although they want to set up a preliminary meeting to find out basically what is the scope of work that we're looking for. And so my meeting with Merrill Lynch will be a preliminary one. That's going to be Monday. The result of that, I hope, will be a meeting with the commissioners for the commissioners to sit down and come to an agreement on what the services will be to tie it down. The same thing with Gita. Gita is already prepared to meet with us the first week of September. And the only thing we're waiting for is for their director or chief executive officer to return from maternity leave. Because in their agency, she's one of the ones that has the experience in doing things like this. In fact, at one point in time, I understand she worked for Merrill Lynch, and this was basically her duty or her job. So we're looking for somebody with that type of experience. We don't have anybody on board currently on staff who does have that. There's myself, we have our admin officer, and we have one land agent. That's it. And on contract, we outsource our legal services and property management. We outsource that too. So this is what we're looking to outsource it. Basically, we're not equipped to hand out loans at this time, at least not in a professional way.
Commissioner Laguana, any other?
No, yeah, no, that's it. That's it. Okay, just wanted to know.
I know that they've asked to try to, I know they've amended some of the proposals, and I think they were asking to try to meet with the board, but I don't think it's for decision or anything. I think it was to try to outline some of the revised, I think they revised the proposal a little bit. So I think they wanted to try to meet the board to propose to see if the board have any questions on it regarding that.
It's possible, but it'll have to be because of open government laws. It'll have to be open. It can't be a private meeting.
Yeah.
And I think she was asking to meet privately of some sort, maybe with some of the board members or not. And I'd be very, very careful of doing that. I would recommend strongly that if it is, it would have to be either a special meeting or part of a regular meeting.
Yeah, I agree. Can you go ahead and relay that to them, that if it's going to be some kind of if they want to represent whatever they had, I guess it was based on the last meeting, at least tell them it has to be in a in a regular meeting.
Okay.
For them.
Because
Okay.
it has to be an open.
Yeah, if they still want to move forward with it, then they should let us know.
Yes, and it has to be in an open meeting. We can't
Yes.
have private meetings involving that.
Okay.
We all went through the ethics course, so we're very much aware of the safety that's being provided to us.
Okay.
By considering that.
Okay. Can you go ahead and relay that? And if they still want to
Okay,
move forward,
I'll
it
do
has to be in a regular meeting.
Okay.
Okay. So any other questions with the director? Okay. So let's move down to item number 5, GITA progress report. GITA,
Good day,
you have
Commissioners.
the floor.
Good day,
Good day.
Commissioners. Diego Mendiola here.
Buenas.
Sorry, Mr. Tony is not with us. He's out on medical leave.
Okay.
Anyway, let's just get right to it. Okay, starting from the top, Whittingale Junction, Northern Market. I think a lot of this is going to be pretty much the same as what you heard last time, but we'll still go through. A response to GITA's August 2nd, 2021 letter has not yet been received. We did inform Northern Market of their approved extension of deferment till September. Upper Harbor parcel number 1, Quick Space, no problems with them. Tenant is current. Matson Navigation, same, tenant is current. Upper Harbor Reservation F12 Transsteel. Transsteel made a payment of $600 on August 2nd. And they're paying their current, which is $500, and slowly but surely making, paying down their arrears. They're still at $10,300, but given the fact that they are paying at least current and a little bit more to bring down the arrears, I say that that's a good thing. AT&T tenant is current. They are pretty much automatic. Guam EPA, a letter of assurance for proposed change order was received, but the commission wanted another. So what I had informed the contractor was that that we will release payment upon receipt of another engineer's letter of assurance. Okay, moving on to Public Health WIC. The MOU amendment that allows GITA to be collecting the payments has been approved earlier this month, and we will be invoicing them moving forward. As far going next to the next item, RFPs for 5-year lease of Nimitz Hill and Polaris, has been drafted. We provided them to the director for his review. If any corrections need to be made, we can do that. If the commission, can affirm that we are a go to release the RFPs once we're ready, once they've been finalized, that would be much appreciated. And the request for professional services for development investments is, we're setting up a meeting, as the director had indicated, with yourselves and the director, as well as my director and some of my board members. We're looking to schedule that in the first week of September. Our board members that are looking to have a discussion with you David John, our chairman. What's his name? Gosh. Yes, June Espaldon. Thank you. June Espaldon, as well as Siska, I don't know how to pronounce her last, Patapea, and Melanie Mendiola. It was my suggestion that my director be included in that discussion, as the director has indicated. She has very much experience in this realm for this type of work. So she would be the best position to ask the correct questions and, provide any clarifications of, the ramifications of whatever it is the Ancestral Commission would like Guido to do if we were to move in that direction. So that pretty much sums up my very short report. Is there any questions?
Any questions, board members? Okay, Commissioner Cruz? Commissioner Cruz? You're
Indicated that they wanted to renew their lease for 50 years. When does it expire?
Yes, ma'am. Their current lease is from 2019 until 2024, 5-year period. They have expressed just recently that they are interested in extending to the 50-year mark. And I have drafted a response for AT&T. I have sent to attorney Nick Toth for review. Basically, what I'm going to tell them is that, it's up to them. If AT&T would like us to go to the legislature, we can certainly do that. But I just wanted to inform them of the current, how would I say, the current, political climate. One example that I wanted to give to them was the most recent GTA and CLTC lease. When that lease went down to the legislature also, besides just lease rent, they also included things like, $100,000 fee per cable landing. So, those are things that we couldn't anticipate. We wouldn't be able to anticipate, any additional requirements that the legislature may have. So what I'm intending to tell AT&T is that, your lease is until 24. However, if you want to roll the dice right now, you certainly could, but I myself wouldn't recommend it, but it's their option. If they want us to proceed, we certainly can.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to welcome, I guess so, yes. Well, Andrea Salicani's on. I saw with Speaker Talai, but I think Andrea is the one from the Speaker's office.
okay.
Yeah, and then also we will be asking for another review of the fair market value before we renew the lease.
Yes, ma'am.
In addition to that, it will be, hopefully the commissioners will agree that it should be similar to Maxim, where if we were to sign for a 50-year lease, we would need to, after signing the lease, we need to take a look at the market every 5 to 10 years. Something like, a pattern that maybe that we can set up similar to the Matson lease. So that's something the commissioners would like, I suggest that we think about. That's all.
I agree. And whose hands up? I can't. Vice Chair.
Yeah,
Vice Chair.
we still have no control. Once it's 5 years and over, the legislature automatically takes over. That's basically it. And then the ball starts rolling on their court. Because that's a similar type of scenario, because that's cable, underground cable, underwater cables, communications. So they're going to start digging in and start looking at what we did the last time with the former director, looking at their assets, their value, their capabilities. And that's when the legislature is going to start you know, asking for more money, like what they did with GTA. Is that GTA?
It was
Director?
GTA. Yes, it was,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there's a
per
difference
cable.
between, but there's a difference between that cable landing that was the legislature passed, to my understanding, because in this case, where the cable runs to AT&T is reserved as Navy as an easement provided by the Navy. It's not government of Guam,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah,
I've gone over
you're
the
right.
lease. Yeah, I've gone
Yeah,
over
yeah,
the
yeah,
lease.
the lease, yeah, because those were submerged lands that
Yes.
they were having to go
And
through.
it's
Yeah,
still, and the property where it's still under control of the Navy and not by Gov Guam, unlike the one where GTA, it's under the control of the Chamorro Land Trust Commission.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There, yeah, yeah, correct.
And so we are not receiving any payments for lease of the easement. In short, it's
Right.
free on our side. It'd be great if we could collect lease on that, but at this point in
Yeah.
time, unless we own the property, we can't charge for it. So there's the big difference. So my thing is that if we're going to go and ask for the legislatures to provide a need, you know, to provide the Don, then then we could issue, or the legislature could approve the issuance of a long-term lease. Anything 5 years and below would be ours. The question I
Right.
have is because AT&T is looking for, because they got about 3 more years on their lease to extend it. I know the reason for that is because they want to have assurances if they do major improvements on their property, on the buildings they have there, that they'll get a return on their investment. So I know the legal question for Nick is, can we provide a 5-year lease and start negotiating it now and make it effective upon the expiration of the current lease? Would that be superseding the legislature's authority of a long-term lease? I mean, it's a possibility. I didn't, and I couldn't find any restrictions on it myself personally. And that would give them another extra 5 years to work through on preparation for a longer term lease, unless they want to roll the dice like Diego mentioned earlier and shoot for it now, and we would again offer an RFP, and hopefully they'll get the lease. It's a complicated issue, and that's how come I was wondering, can we start negotiations early and provide another lease for 5 more years upon the expiration of the current one? Because before the current one expires, we would start negotiating a lease. That's my assumption, so that there would be no break in service. The issue is, how early can we start those negotiations? If that was the option that AT&T would prefer. You know, I think Diego said they're preparing a letter with the options. Diego and I have been in discussion of this already for the past week or so. It's basically giving you the heads up on what's being prepared right now.
Okay, so can I ask a question real quick regarding the Don? We're gonna definitely need a Don from the legislature regarding this longer term lease with AT&T?
If it's for a long-term lease, yes.
In spite of the fact that they were already there since all these decades and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think then we should go ahead and move with it. I think maybe we could get a better deal out of it with the legislature involved, with the Don. What do you think?
I guess I'll drop that on Diego's lap.
Yeah, yeah, they're excuse me, Mr. Chair, but yeah, you're right. Just like Diego said, man, it's not the right time right now, bro. They're giving them 2 years to think ahead. How are we gonna strategically get this AT&T to pay up more? You know what I mean?
Let's move the Don. Let's move the Don. At least we have the Don.
Yeah, you go. Yeah, yeah, you
And
go.
then
Yeah,
we can still continue 5 years, you know, every 5 years, but at least we have the
Yeah.
Don if the board decides to move with it.
Yeah, okay. Gita can prepare the Don for the commission.
Unless board members input.
I agree. I agree.
Any input? Okay. Okay, thank you, Diego. Let's move with that. I have a question regarding the Environmental Protection Agency. You said the repair is completed.
Yes, sir.
And okay, how does that affect what's happening with the independent engineer?
Well, we move forward with the completion because, you know, because of the weather, you've seen it. And so it was a good thing that we did, because inside EPA is dry as a bone now. So all the employees are extremely happy. There's no more further complaints. But as far as like releasing payment to the contractor, I've already informed them that if I will only release the payment upon submission of that letter of assurance from an engineer.
Mr. Camacho.
Are we ready to have the discussion about the damages to the inside of the building?
I don't believe so, ma'am, because Walter, EPA themselves would submit to us, a written statement saying, this was damaged and it was this much, but based on the, I'm not going to go and ask for it, but they are not submitting it.
I think we were told that there was damages to the drop ceiling, damages to the tile, maybe some carpet. We're just
Yes,
gonna
ma'am.
not
Yes.
address
Yes,
it. We're just not gonna, we're gonna sign off on it and then we're done.
Well, we're signing off on the roof being completed, but yes, you are correct that, Walter did tell us that there are some, some of the ceiling tiles were wet and fell, that, some of the carpet was wet as well. I mean, yes, he did say that, but he's not.
Electrical lighting fixtures that got wet, and
There were some lighting fixtures that got wet, and in my last visit with the director, we took a look at it. It was the bathroom, the men's bathroom to be specific, and I had asked the contractor to take a look at it, no charge. He indicated that he would do so at no charge. So, so I'm not going to, unless you ask me to. I don't.
Is he saying that he's gonna fix the light fixture at no charge? But what about, is he saying he's gonna, the drop ceiling that got wet and is damaged, the tile that's wet and damaged, we don't want to talk about that?
Well, if EPA, they were
No.
wet and they're dry, and if EPA wants to submit a complaint, they can, then that's the time we can do so.
That's right.
But I
That's our
wouldn't.
property though. And so, I mean, what is the condition of it now, Diego?
It's really nice.
So the drop ceiling is open. They removed, I'm assuming they removed the false drop ceiling. So we don't want to do that anymore. We don't need to replace that. The flooring's okay. The carpet's okay.
Yes, there are some ceiling tiles that are not present. You are correct at that. However, it doesn't seem like it's affecting their operations. I mean, I spoke to the employees myself, and they're just happy that there is no more leaks anymore at all. Because, I mean, yes, there were a lot of leaks when we worked on it, but there were existing leaks before we even got there. So now that all of that is solved, there's no complaints.
That's it.
It was dry. It didn't smell like anything unusual. It's a lab and some offices, and so there's no. I mean, I personally wouldn't recommend going to ask for, for what are the existing damage reports and whatever other problems, because then we could also get into a whole thing of where what was damaged before we actually got started working, and we do have some documentation of that too.
So, no. And my point is, and maybe I'm talking to the wrong person, Diego, my apologies. I think I should address the director because I guess I'd like to know, what is the condition of the inside of the building? Is it okay? Do we need to address it? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I understand
Because we know from that rain, I heard drop ceiling, light fixture, I heard tiles and carpet. This is all relative to the repairs of the roof. So can somebody look into the condition of the inside?
We could make an assessment of it now that the roof has been
Okay,
repaired.
stand by. Yeah.
And I am aware that what Mr. Diego is talking about is that there was some damage prior and that we could discount, but there was damage done after also where a number of ceiling tiles were disposed of. Those I know are minimum that we should replace. And many of those were also damaged by the severe water, amount of water that entered into the building. And some of the light fixtures, I'm not sure if they were able to recover them and get them to work. I am aware that the one in the men's restroom was not able to work. I did not check on the ones in the other offices. Those things we can do an assessment of and go through room by room. But I understand what Mr. Diego is saying is that once we start doing that, will EPA start asking us to replace their electronic equipment that they informed me of that was damaged. I'm not sure if they were able to recover those by drying them up at this point in time. So I can go up and do an assessment if the commissioners would like, and that won't be too difficult to do the assessment. Of course, I'd have to go through the records and pictures of the damages that occurred because of the existing leaks. But of course, more leaks opened up after the fact. But that'll be a decision the commissioners will make, of course, with the caution that Mr. Mendiola is giving you about pursuing that. Because then it could be a long drawn out process. But for the building itself, I feel that we should replace all the ceiling tiles.
But if we don't talk about the equipment that was damaged and we sign off on this, that the work is done and it's acceptable,
yeah.
then we're stuck. Then EPA says, oh, what about all of this damaged stuff?
Okay,
I want to make sure that I want to make sure that we're not going to get stuck holding the bag.
Right, I understand your point. So if you want me to do the assessment, I can go up there and do the assessment.
Mr. Chair?
But we haven't transferred any funds yet until the chairman and the secretary treasurer come in and sign the resolution and the minutes of the last meeting authorizing the transfer. So the funds have not been transferred as of this time. So we still have time until we actually close it.
Vice Chair, you had a question?
Yeah. Like Mr. Diego said, I should just suggest let them write us the letter. Let them submit their request. But to dig into what that is, I know there are damages, but they seem to be fine. And unless they submit in writing that they're requesting for the repairs, then we'll take action. That's how I see it. Sorry to beg differ.
What is the condition? What is the condition of the interior of our property? What is the condition? I mean, if it's okay, if you're saying that, oh, it got wet and the drop ceiling is dry and it's okay now, then fine. But if there were damages, then we need to discuss it. And what are we going to do? Nothing?
Commissioner Rios.
Today, Commissioner Camacho, I understand where you're coming from with regard to holding the contractor responsible for those damages. My only concern is, ultimately, we are the one probably responsible for those damages, only because those are some long old damages. I think I was there with Diego and the director when we had decided to go do an inspection. I think it was just me and the director and Diego, and we did a walkthrough on that building. And yeah, I can see why they'd be a bit happy to not have those leaks. They used all the trash cans in that building to catch all the water in that building. The damage, I'm sure. I mean, it probably went from having a drip to maybe more than a drip when they did strip that roof. But the damage is really bad in that building. I mean, I've mentioned it before. I just felt like if they weren't EPA, they should have been closed down. I mean, it was really, really, really bad, really bad. I think every carpet in there had stains from prior leaks throughout the years. I mean, not just a month of leaks. I think that building has been damaged for years, from what I was told. And I am very, very happy that it is finally fixed. And to what extent the contractor is responsible for the damages, I think, that happened in there, be kind of difficult to lay that out. They all know. And there are lots of pictures, I think, the director has had prior to them doing the work. And you're not going to see much difference between how that building looked prior to that to what was happening to it as that roof got removed. It's pretty bad, Commissioner. It was pretty bad. I wish we had all gone up there to see it. You'd be a bit embarrassed to know that we're actually renting that building out in its condition. So I'm happy for the work getting done, and it's unfortunate what happened to that to the contractor on that whole deal. But that building's pretty bad, pretty bad. Now we know what kind of roofs those buildings are. If we had to do another roof repair like that, I would recommend that the whole office relocate until the work was done, just to be safe. But that's all. That's my take, Commissioner Camacho. It's not. I understand where you're coming from. When you get somebody, you hire somebody to do work at your house, you don't want them to come in and do more damage and more bad than good. We want them to do more good. That's the idea, and I get it. But if it requires sometimes a dump truck or to drive into your yard to fix the yard in the back, it's going to ruin the yard on the way in. So just my take. That's all. Thank you.
If the commissioners would like, I could go up and at least count the ceiling tiles, because that's where most of the damages, and maybe even the light fixtures. And maybe because of what Commissioner Reyes stated is true, and what Mr. Diego stated is also true, that it's going to be difficult to assess what was previously damaged and what prior to the work and what was damaged by the work, because the building is in such great disrepair. At least to repair the ceiling tiles or replace them. I don't think the cost of that will be extremely large. I don't know if the commissioners would like to take on that, and that would not open up any more leaks. It will actually improve the inside of the building way beyond what it was prior to getting the roof repaired. But I'll leave it up to the commissioners, what the commissioners would like us to do. But I do recommend that we replace the ceiling tiles, because it is unsightly when you walk into that building, and that would improve the morale of the employees in there. At least not looking at the ceiling and seeing wires hanging and pipes running through all over the place. Those things are just these soundproof tiles that we all have in all our offices. So they're not that expensive.
That's not a bad idea to assess where we're at now. I think it's not a bad idea. How old is the building? How long has the flooring? I don't know. Definitely the roof ceiling, the drop ceiling.
Yeah. The building is old. It's from around Typhoon Karen time, around early 1960s, late 1950s. That's why we were unaware of what was in there. There's no blueprints available to us. And the structure was built in such a way that we haven't seen, personally, I've never seen that kind of construction previously, at least the way that one was handled. And I worked in the construction industry for at least 10 years myself personally. So I'm aware of what goes on in that field. And that is something, and my experience was in the 70s, working through the 80s in the construction industry. And that was prior to my experience. That was, like I said, late 50s, early 60s type construction. We don't use that anymore, and because it's not as good as the way the building codes are designed today. So yes, a lot of things were unexpected. That's why I said it's something even the contractor, well, we all feel that all contractors should know all construction types of buildings out there. Apparently there are some that are so old that we forgot how they were constructed. So this was news to us and apparently to the contractor. So I feel the same way as Commissioner Rios. But I think repairing this and replacing the ceiling tiles will be a great start for us, but that'll mean placing another RFP out if we were to take responsibility for that. And maybe I could talk to Director Leon Guerrero and find out if you want, if they have any damages that they would like to claim. But then again, that's reaching for it, and they might say, well, we have damages to equipment that may have been damaged prior to this whole incident. So that's the caution that Mr. Mendiola is advising us of.
Which is good advice.
Mr. Chair, you're on mute. I see you trying to talk. On mute.
Director, yeah, the images you posted regarding the the completion, it looks really, just on the surface, it looks really good. But then again, yeah, we need to at least get confirmation regarding the engineering, whether that, and I know they have a guarantee. They put another guarantee, right, on the workmanship and the procedure and the method. So, but all the points are, everybody's got valid points, valid points regarding that repair. If I was Gita, I think they're looking forward to their new place. Is what I know. They have a. I mean, as far as like, maybe complaining about the way it is, I think they're just looking forward to like getting out. Maybe if I was in their shoes, if it's really as bad as Commissioner Rios is saying, so we might need to look forward to the time that we're gonna renovate the whole place. The inside for. So, any other questions? Any other questions for Diego on other topics that he presented on his report? No further questions? Okay. Regarding the RFP, though, you're moving. We just need to review the RFP for the Nimitz Hill property and Polaris. We just need the director. You have the draft, right?
I have the draft for both RFPs. We've been going over it. It's pretty extensive.
Okay, it looks good.
So far, everything looks good to us. It looks like we're going to be pushing forward on it. I need a little more time to complete my review of both RFPs, because that'll be for the Nimitz Hills property and for the Polaris properties. But the Polaris properties, the only major difference there is going from the extended lease that we were looking for, because the Dawn has expired in May. And so we're looking at providing only 5-year leases for both sides. So that's the only big difference with Polaris. Polaris is pretty much a done deal as far as I'm looking at it. Unless the commissioners would like us to, if you'd like to review the RFPs yourself. But Joey has completed his review of it. I'm into mine, and so is Kathy. So we're all taking a part in reviewing the RFPs that were submitted by Gita. And as soon as it's done, I expect I'll be submitting it back to Gita for their immediate action. If it's good for the commissioners.
Anybody on the board want to review the RFP? Nobody wants to, everybody's fine with just having our director approve the
Well,
RFP?
It'd be myself with Joey, who's already given his approval. I'm waiting for Kathy, and I'll be providing Gita with mine also. So we split it up.
Okay, very good. I would like to take a look at the RFP though. I'd like to just
Okay.
glance over it.
Okay, I'll
Even
send
though
you a
I'm
copy.
familiar with the a lot of the RFPs that went out, I'd just like to take a quick look at a glance at some of the stipulations. But regarding the Nimitz Hill property, I can see, you know, this is, I don't think it's going to take a rocket scientist to see that basically it's more or less going to be within that 5-year time frame investment, because if it's not, you know, it's going to be limited to basically, you know, staging area maybe, or something where they don't really have to do much expenditures or development, those type of things. That's the way I see it for 5 years. But Diego, thank you for your report. So just Masi.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay, so
Thank you.
okay. I guess we move down to item number 6, old business, Gita MOU status, but I think we already covered that, Director?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we covered actually both A and B, because B would be the other investment evaluation service, which would be Merrill Lynch and Coast 360.
Okay, very good. Okay.
Okay.
There's any questions, further questions with that? Because we did discuss it. Okay, no further questions on that.
I just want to thank that Mr. Diego for his report. Thank you, Mr. Diego.
Thank you too, Vice Chair.
Okay, let's move down to item number 7, new business. I don't think we have any new business.
Nope, no new business.
No new business. Okay, so public comments. We're on item number
There were
8.
no requests for public comment, Mr. Chair.
Okay. We move to number
Have a
9.
comment. No, Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No, as you know, September is Labor Day. So, you know, despite all the challenges we're going through with COVID, what are the virtual Happy Labor Day activities that they have planned, Mr. Director? Have you heard from the governor?
Virtual?
No, I have not. I know it's usually a big time for Guam, September 6th,
Yeah.
or the week prior to that.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything. It seems that this rise of this other wave of coronavirus that's hitting us has put all other plans aside as of right now. Right now, we've got so much restrictions upon us, and some of them are not really very clear. Anyone entering into our office should be fully vaccinated or have proof of that of some sort.
Yes.
And I'm glad to report that everyone in our office here is 100% vaccinated. So the applications and the notices that we have to give every other day or so to Department of Admin and to others have all been sufficiently covered. But we're still giving our reports regularly as they come in. So seems like I'm looking forward to Labor Day.
Yeah, but yeah,
I used to get heavily involved with that.
yeah, per se, yes, right. You know why? Because through my experience in the government, you know, Labor Day is an important day to recognize the government employees, and perhaps the recognition of their, you know, the government employees, be it virtual, be planned, you know, and don't just bypass it and skip it. Perhaps, you know, that can recognize the government employees. That's my concern. That's all I just want to find out if there was anything mentioned. So I guess, but you know, something should be done. We move on. Yeah, we move.
Even Liberation Day was virtual, so hopefully they'll have something planned for that.
There you go. There you go, Mister. And just bring it when you go to your cabinet.
I'll bring
meetings.
it up. to-
Yeah, you know,
in
it,
fact, I'll bring it
there's
up
so
before
many
the
creative
cabinet.
ideas. Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of creative ideas that you can do to recognize the government employees because it's an annual event. And you know, we like, you know, what's going on in the States. We don't stop. Our lives to continue. We move on. You know, we need to keep it. COVID is not the entire world, you know. So
Yeah.
we need to move on. Okay, thank you,
Yeah,
Mr. Director.
I feel the
Mr.
same way
Chair.
you feel, Mr. Vice Chair.
Very good. Same here. Okay, we're actually down at what? We're still at item, we're actually at item 9, announcements. Our next meeting is basically coming up on Friday for our review of our
Sure.
director's performance. Okay, evaluation.
And I'll be sending you a list of accomplishments that we've had here over the past year, right after this meeting.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Mr. Director. You know, and within the government again, you know, an annual report is usually the requirement when I was an administrator. So that's good that you are doing that. You're doing your part as a government employee, and my hats off to you on that. That's very good, Mr. Director. But before we close, Ms. Kathy, you know what? I was on my phone when I had my ancestral lands email. Like, now it's gone. I don't know where it's at. What is my email again? It's ronald.gaguania@galc.gov.gu, right? Is that what it is? Is it?
No.
Or just send it to me. Yeah, just send me an, I guess send me an email, Mr. Director, via my other Gmail, because man, I don't know what happened. I pressed something here on my phone and I lost
This
it.
is why when I send out emails, I send it to all your email addresses.
Yeah,
Not just-
thank you for that. And thank you for that. And also you send it through WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Thank you so
I
much
always
for that,
send you out
Director. Like, you know
one
what?
notice
Yeah.
plus another and another to make sure you get it.
Yes, you do it all three. I know you give it. I get it from WhatsApp, and then if I don't get it through the ancestral, I forward it to the WhatsApp to my other Gmail. But I
Yes.
want to get in through the ancestral lands Zoom because that's how it's recorded. You know, for any.
Okay, I have all your
any
addresses, so I'll send you one notice of it. When I send out my,
please get me back. Get me back.
yes.
And
Yeah, Kathy will give it to me. Yeah, I'll go to Google.
Okay.
What is it? I'll Google it at Gmail, and then I'll plug it in. Once you give me the.
Okay.
Yeah, text me my email. Okay. She already
Okay.
gave me my password already. Thank you, Kathy.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you, Mara. Again, thank you as well.
For that matter, we need to look also into Commissioner Lino's Mac. If we can get that working for her,
For the Mac.
her Mac. Yeah, for her.
I don't know what's wrong. I would like to see the trash can. And that's good.
Okay.
That's good.
I got one more question. Mr. Director, do you guys break, does my communication break up by any chance? Because Mr.
is.
Director, sometimes so we're all breaking up too, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just you, Mr. Vice Chair, everyone else has been moving smoothly today. Yours is the only one that paused a couple of times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even you, even you,
Even me?
Mr. Director. I missed
Okay,
some of
I couldn't
yours.
see that
I
part.
missed even Miss Arlino. I broke up. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I just want to know. Yeah, I
Did
just want to
others
know.
see that did anybody see the buffering on their end?
Not on yours, Director. On yours, it's smooth. On mine, I haven't had any buffering on yours, and
So,
I've only been receiving it on the Vice Chair.
so Mr. Vice Chair, I think it's all on your end. You were probably buffering when we were speaking.
But you know what? I upgraded my internet from it was 5. Now it's up to I think 15. I think I have to go to 25 because I did. GTA called me up and then they offered me. You know, they have a promotion, right? They said
Yeah.
for $10 additional, you can you're going up, right? You know the
Yeah.
band,
Well,
right?
I
The
think-
bandwidth. That I did upgrade mine.
Okay, you got upgraded your services. Now they're ready to sell you a new computer.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
this is a brand new one. But this is a tablet. This is brand new.
Okay.
I just need to update it, I guess.
Tell you what, maybe you
Okay.
need to migrate back to what GT had before because you weren't buffering before.
Right, you were
Yeah.
doing great before.
Okay. But it's nice to see you again, everybody. Nice to see everybody.
Same
Okay.
here. Hi, Jeff.
Yeah.
So
see,
regarding
Hi,
Friday,
David.
that's
Hi, Kat.
Friday, it's
There's a
2 p.m.
special meeting Friday,
yes.
and we could, if other people tune in, depending on what the commissioners want, I'm capable of breaking into a break room, which allows us to have privacy. So that even during regular meetings, we can go into executive session. And even if there are other people in on the Zoom meeting, they will be locked out of that session.
Okay.
We have the technology to do that and the ability to
Okay.
do so. So at the special meeting, you let me know who do you want in on the meeting. I know that would be all the commissioners, even inclusive of our attorney and whoever else the commissioners deem necessary for that, since it would be involving personnel issues.
Yes.
Well, be honest with you, it's a first for me doing it on a Zoom and going into an executive session. I don't think we've ever went into an executive session in our time
Not,
tenure.
yeah,
Right.
No.
we have not. Yeah.
I
No.
think throughout
Okay.
19, 20 years, we've never went into executive session. So if we did on this Friday, it would be a first for us.
Okay. And good, Mr. Chair. But please make sure prepare that you do have the evaluation document, because that is so important. You need a hard copy of that. Whatever we've done, it must be in hard copy and placed in the personnel file. Please remember that.
Okay, but we're not receiving a hard copy, right? We're on,
No, but he
file.
has to present that and submit that in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Okay.
in the end, yes, I would, because whatever action that's
Yes.
taken will have to be made public.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So
Okay,
right after
I
this, I'll be sending you my report of my accomplishments, and that way you could use that as a basis for your decision. And of course, everything else that you've seen and we've done. So since I've come on board, we've been virtual the whole time. So this is a new experience for all of us.
Yes.
I want to
Yeah.
thank the board again. I guess we're going to go into we're going to adjourn.
Yes.
Unless any questions. Motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn.
Okay. I don't think I need a second for that, right?
No, you don't.
No.
Okay. Juice Maasi, everybody.
Bye.
Adios,
Bye.
todos.
I think this is our shortest meeting ever.
All right, very good.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Mr. Director. Good job. Good job, Mr. Director.
Thank you. I'll see you all on Friday.
Three
All right, good job, everybody.
meeting
Kathy,
is adjourned.
Mara, everybody. Joey, brother, Commissioner Rios, Commissioner Cruz, Commissioner Camacho, Commissioner Lino, and Mr. Chair.
And best wishes to Westling for a
Yes,
speedy recovery.
yes,
Oh,
prayers for her. Yes,
We'll
for
pray
speedy
for her.
recovery.
Swift
Yes.
She needs an R&R from us.
Please adjourn. Adios,
Okay.
everybody.
Adios, todos. Okay,
Adios.